Hello. I have never made a video before to post on YouTube. The only reason why I'm doing it is because I've been searching YouTube to convert a Makita SL1019 with laser to a shadow line. I seen a couple of videos before regarding that, but I don't like the fact that they are just gluing the lights underneath the blade guard, and I'm afraid that is gonna come off and hit the blade light. So I found these lights that are super small, and they will fit inside of what it is now the laser area. I will solder. Okay guys, I am back. I already soldered the light, but I am going to go into how to prepare your saw. There is a couple of videos regarding how to convert a Makita laser into a shadow line. And they show you in detail how to remove the blade and how to remove the guard and also how to remove the laser part. Now, to remove the laser part, there is a screw here, and you need to remove a little plastic piece that is in there. There is also a screw down in here, and there is one more screw that goes right into that area there. Uh, be careful when you remove that screw. A spring is left inside of the laser area. So if you are considering on reinstalling your laser, be sure not to lose the spring. Uh, so once you have removed those screws, you are going to find that there is a tab that goes in here, and also on the other side here. You just pry this out, and this piece will come out with the laser inside. To remove the laser, you just remove the screw that does the adjustment for the adjusting the laser light. Also, you will need to remove this piece, which it pops right out, and you'll notice that the wires are inside on this area, and there is also another cover in here uh, that it is held with a screw, and it will your laser will end up hanging like this. Now this, you will have to leave it alone and just cut it in the center of the length between this part and the laser light. That is if you want to reuse your laser sometime later on. Now, once you have soldered your lights, you will need to prepare a small piece of aluminum that it will fit into this area. Uh, your light will be glued to this, and according to the manufacturer, it needs a heat sink, a heat dissipator. So cut a piece, and you will be gluing this the light into this piece of aluminum. I'll be back. After cutting, the aluminum piece turned out to be 5/8 by 1.5 in length. The next thing that you need to do is to center the aluminum into the opening and also center it this way into the center of the opening. Right where the center of the two measurements is, you will glue your light on it. Remember, you need to use a heat sink paste. That is to transfer the heat of the light into this piece of aluminum. If you notice, there is my center mark, and I will use the heat glue, they call it, although it's useless. It doesn't really glue anything, but I hope it at least works as a heat transfer. I will be using hot glue to actually glue the light into the piece of aluminum. I'll start gluing it and I'll be right back. I have attached a bolt-on meter to the two wires that we cut that are coming from the transformer inside of the saw. Uh, as you can see right now, it is reading 0 volts DC. I'm going to turn the laser switch on, and if you can see, it's reading 3.89 volts DC. Now, there is a couple of things that I have no knowledge of what it is inside the unit as far as the transformer is concerned. I know that it's producing 3.89 volts, but I don't know what is the power. In other words, what is the capacity as far as milliamps is concerned. Uh, the light uses approximately 6 to 700 milliamps, and I hope that the transformer that is inside, it will be able to stand the usage. Now, I'm also concerned with the voltage as far as the light is concerned. It's supposed to be able to use 3.4 to 3.6 volts. So if we say that the transformer is 3.9, that means that it is using uh, 0.03 volts more than it should. I already tested it and it didn't burn. I don't know if it will burn later on with the usage, but if that is the case, you will have to open up this area here and replace the transformer. There is a transformer that it is sold that is specific for that little light. Here is the light already glued into the heatsink, and it will uh, be installed in this manner. Remember that we measure the center, so it's going to go exactly like this. I will go ahead and mount it on and do the electrical connections, and I will be back. In order for you to do this connection here, you will either have to use wire nut, crimpers, inline connectors, or you can also solder the two pieces. Now, before you solder or use wire notch, make sure that you connect that, because if the polarity of the light is not correct, you're going to have to reverse it and the light will turn on. So before you do your final connections, make sure that you do make sure that your light come on. Otherwise, just reverse the two wires and the light will work. I'll go ahead and do the connection and we'll be right back, show you how the end result is. I welded the light and glue it to the heatsink made out of aluminum with super glue. Now it is ready to be installed. Uh, that part is going to go with the light center on this area, and the heatsink is going to be along this area here. Once it is hooked up, I'm going to make sure that it is centered for the shadow to be proper, and then I'm going to use hot glue to glue it up and make sure that it stays in proper way. I'll go ahead and hook it up and I'll be back. There is a part here that it is critical. You have to position the light where, if you notice, it's throwing light on one side and shadow on the other. So you have to actually move the blade slightly, if you can see, uh, to where it is actually center over the blade, so it throws a proper shadow. Once you have that, you can go ahead and hot glue the sink plate on it, and you will have it done. I have hot glue my part into position, and I will go ahead and put the cover back on, this cover, to see if it fits properly in there. If it does, then I am going to go and hot glue all around so the sawdust does not come inside, and I will go ahead and finish it up. If you notice right now, you can see the shadow line. It's the light is perfectly centered over the blade, and even with the saw fully retracted, it's throwing a perfectly good shadow light. So I'll go ahead and test it and I'll come back. And there it is, guys. This is the saw all put together. The cover right here is on. This part here is on. The area where the laser used to be is on. The guard is on. And if you noticed, uh, there is your shadow line. You are utilizing the transformer that it was in there, and you have altered the unit to the very minimum. If you ever need to put the laser back on, all you need to do is just remove uh, the LED and install your laser back on, and you're back in business. You'll have the unit the way it was originally. There is your shadow line. Thank you for watching.